So, I've been in a slump lately. You know, the kind where you're just kind of doom scrolling in bed, avoiding responsibilities, and just scroll rotting? Yeah, that's been me for the past few weeks. Which has been great, don't get me wrong. But at some point, I just need to get my shit together and snap out of it. So, here are the 5 things I do throughout the week in order to get myself out of a slump. Now, the first thing I do is just to drag my ass to the gym. Nothing makes me feel like I'm getting my life together more than moving my body and becoming a gym girly. My therapist and I always talk about how physical activity is one of the pillars of mental health and how just even 30 minutes of movement can completely flip your day around. Do I want to go? No. But I do remind myself that even though I might hate every second of it, I will always feel better afterwards. And sometimes you just gotta do it. The second thing I make sure to do is to pick up my journal again. One of the first signs that I'm slipping in a slump is when my journal starts to collect dust. I hate to admit it, but when I'm feeling off, I run away from my emotions, and therefore, I run away from reality. However, we all know that the longer you avoid emotions, the worse that it gets, right? So instead of running from it, I pick up my pen and I start writing. I let myself be honest, I reflect back on what's been weighing me down, what makes me anxious, and I just let my emotions flow. Journaling is my way of checking in with myself, and once I do that, I can slowly start picking myself up to become normal again. After journaling, the third thing I do is to set realistic, low-pressure goals for the week. The key here is that these goals have to be manageable. I know myself well, and I know that if I get overwhelmed even a tiny bit, I'm slipping right back into the slump. I've been working really hard this year to follow the 1% better rule. Once you're at rock bottom, any small win is a win. Maybe I aim to go to the gym for 30 minutes. Maybe I don't doom scroll and read 10 pages of my book. Maybe I just try to wake up before noon. I have to remind myself that small intentional changes do add up over time and that I should acknowledge myself for them. The fourth habit on my list is to clean up your space. We've all heard the saying that your space is a reflection of your mind. And let me tell you, by the time that I'm getting out of a slump, my room looks like a shit show. Instead of overwhelming myself with a massive cleanup, I try to just clean up one small thing at a time. I'll clear off my nightstand one day, I'll clean up my plants, and if I have the energy, I'll actually try to switch things up a little bit. Maybe I'll switch out the prints on my room, or maybe I'll change where my Smith keys are. I don't know, whatever I'm feeling. All I know is that a cleaner room means a cleaner mind. And lastly, I decide to go touch some grass. I do my skincare, I dress up, I put on makeup, and I remind myself that it feels good to look good. I live in New York City, and I think that it's often really easy to get swept up with life, but I need to remind myself to romanticize life. I agree to plans with friends, I go out to eat good food because I freaking love food, and I actually decide to be a breathing human being outside of my apartment. When I go outside and take a moment to just exist in the city, I'm reminded of how grateful I am to be in the city doing the things I love with the people that I love. Getting out of a slump really isn't about a perfect routine or a quick fix. It's really just about taking small steps and making things manageable for yourself. So these are my 5 ways on how I try to do that for myself.